Hello and welcome back to the next section of our chapter making. It's been a few weeks, so please excuse that, but I want to dive right back in. So far we have got, let me see, 5 chapters I think it is. Last time we finished our 5th chapter. Yeah, so something I've noticed, here's your tip of the week I suppose. Something I've noticed when you're working on these is that after maybe chapter 5, chapter 6, if you don't start reminding the AI, here's our plan, then what it might do is start making a new plan. And we'll just start making up chapters as we go along. Now that can be creative and fun. And it can just keep on going off. But if you have a story set down, you want to follow, you don't want any that weird stuff, then after chapter 5 I would suggest really that you are pasting into your instructions, here is the plan we had, and so on. So let's jump right in. We're going to do several chapters, or 3 or 4 chapters at least today, and just kind of fly through them as best we can. So again, we just go, please go ahead with the next chapter. Aim for, last time we know it's 3,800, so aim for 4,000 words. Here was the original chapter plan, but feel free to expand out the sections because we're lacking on word count. So this way I'm going to put it. Please feel free to expand out the sections in the plan to make the chapter longer and in depth. Okay, then we want to paste in from our chapter plan. Copy and paste. Let's see who she comes out. As a reminder, last time the word count was really dropping off. Chapter 5 came out at 1,000 words. I'm working on another project at the minute, and the chapters, by the time I finished, I think I had a 20 chapter plan. Ended up being 30 chapters because I was adding in as I went along. There's a lot more hands-on planning. It came out to 30 chapters. But they ranged from 800 words up to 1,600 words. This is kind of in the middle. But what I was doing then was working back through it, adding in sections, correcting sections, and I have that process almost finished. And this is on the book now. But this one is an example. I'm not going through all that in depth because I doubt you want to be sitting here for hours watching me. But we do want to keep an eye on that word count, which is about 1,000 on this chapter 5. And let's see how it does for chapter 6. Okay. It's saying word count is 4,000 words. It's not. And a reminder, do not argue with the AI over the word count because it will just go into whole analysis of it and come out with no clear answer. So let's see what the word count actually came out as. 1,300, better than chapter 5. So I think asking it to add in or expand out our original plan has worked to some extent. So let's go ahead and make the next chapter. So let's copy the instructions that we had here. Anyway, you can cut down the amount of typing you're doing. I'm going to bump it up to 4,200 words because we have that drop off that happens every time. And I'm going to put in chapter 6 plan, copy, paste, and go. So but there is no way around it. You are at some point going to have to work through your project, whatever idea is you're working on, and you're going to have to read through all of this and adjust it. But that leads on to another point, which is copyright. So this is generated by AI. You cannot copyright it. However, this is the way I see it, is that if you're going in here, so say you save this as version 1, you go in here, you edit all the way through it. You take out, you add in a sentence here, there, change out a word here and there. Whatever changes you make, put in a different color. Save it as your edited file. Okay, so this might end up being, I don't know, 30, 40,000 words. After that, it might be 45,000 words. You've a record of all the bits that you've changed and added. So now it's a compilation. It's written partly by you, partly by AI. So now, what I suggest you put in the start of your book is that, this was written by AI, but but the thing was completely edited by you, and many sections were written by you. And if someone wants to use the story for a movie or for other purposes, then just to get in contact with the author or the book publisher. And that's the way you would word the copyright, because you can't copyright this. It's done by AI, by your instruction. But the more editing you do on it, the stronger your case is. So let's see how chapter 7 comes out. It's saying 4,237 words. Let's see what it is when we paste it in here. So chapter 7, we have 1,252, so a slight bit of a drop off. But yeah, let's just keep on going. On using Grok, you are limited to the amount of questions or tasks you can set in a set amount of time. So just be aware of that if you're working on this yourself, that you are going to be limited. So up to 4,400 words. And where's our plan? Not that one, this one. We done chapter 7, Hearts Divided, chapter 8. Chapter 8 we're on? Yeah, Hearts Divided, now we're on chapter 8. Paste in there, and off we go. So you can see here we are speeding up our production line. And I'm not even reading it at the minute. That's fine. It's up to you how you want to read through it. I'm finding now that when you get onto the Amazon portal, you can put all of this in, and you can get them to send you out a trial version or trial book. What you call it? It's gone off to my tongue. But anyway, you can get a book out and you can read through that and edit it that way. But then if you have all your notes written out on the pages, then you have to then go and type it back in. It's almost easier to work through it on a word processor. And bear in mind that if you do go and change, say if I go and add a few sentences onto this in my own words, typing it out afterwards, the AI is doing this with good grammar, or it should be. But you add on a few sentences, there might be some spell checking, grammar checks that need to be done. So if you're rerunning it back through the AI, include in their instructions to check for those things, to look for spelling and grammar errors. Okay, chapter 8 done. Speeding along. Now, chapter 8, that's the wrong file. Let's see how the word count came out. Chapter 8, Betrayal in the Ranks. Okay. And we've got 1,851. Hey, you've done well with that. That's a good length chapter. You probably want to get up to about 3,000, but this is your very start, so you can be adding on to these, of course, as we go on. do not worry about that so much at the moment. You are pumping out the start, the very first version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, or many versions you choose to go through. Of course, you could just do version 1, pump it out and sell it, but the thing is, you have to bear in mind is that you want repeat buyers who read your books and say, hey, this was actually a pretty good story. I'll keep an eye out on what this guy or girl does in the future. I'll buy their next book. Or maybe you want to make a series, and so you want the buyers to come back for the second book. There's no point in having 10,000 sales of one book and then nobody wants your second book because it was terrible. So, editing is an essential part of the process. So, we're on to chapter 9 already. And, you can see it's not taking too long to just go ahead and make these. It's fairly straightforward process. It's calculating things out like names of roads and stuff. Of course, we can go back and change all of this. Either you could change it manually, or you could just put it in notes to the AI. Hey, change this from keyhole satellite to monitoring satellite. Who knows? But you can make all the changes you want. The thing that I'm finding about all of this is that it just speeds up the creative process. Yes, I could write it, but if I get the AI to help me, I could pump out twice as many books a year. So, if it does a good job, if I'm happy with it, why not? Okay, this is chapter... No, we must have missed the start of it. Aha. Chapter 9. Let's see how the word count comes out on this. Yeah, 1,600. So, not too bad for a first draft. We're now up to 15,000 words on the book. Let's do one more for today. Again, we're just going to copy paste instructions, so we don't have to type it all out each time. Add in your extra 200 words. Oh, not that many. Go to your plan, and do this, and go back, and paste, and go. That's it. It's not rocket science. And as a veteran of writing books, because I did write many books myself before working with AI, I really enjoy the process of sitting there writing. I wrote a book once on my lunch breaks while at work. So I'd come out my lunch break, sit in the car for half hour and just type away. And I wrote a book in 10 weeks that way. But that same book took me several months of editing. So to have, I really enjoy the writing process, but to have an AI there to help with editing and so on could really help. Even if you don't want the AI to write it for you, you could certainly use it for editing process. Or even you could say, here's my first chapter, can you look at and tell me where I can make it better? Those kind of things. Okay, let's see how chapter 10 came out. We got 1,500 words. Not bad, not bad for now. So we're up to 17,000 words. We're at chapter 10. And how many chapters do we plan for? Let's remind ourselves. 20. So we're halfway through the book. 17,000 words. We're going to hit somewhere around 35,000 words on the first draft, which is perfectly fine. So I hope you're trying this out at home, trying out your projects, get going on it, and trying to give you as many hints and tips as I go along. But keep it going, don't give up on your projects, and don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you.